Tramp Stamps, by doing this, are sending us back instead of moving us forward.
Yeah.
In terms of,
again, it's
this kind of revolution.
It's very white liberal feminism, and that is the worst type of feminism because it's so performative and it's so narrow. It's so like, what are issues that affect me personally and nobody else? And that's the only right like, I cannot stand that feminism. If your feminism is not intersectional, if your feminism is not queer friendly, if your feminism doesn't care about BIPOC women, if it's not any of these things and more, there's no point of being a feminist. If your concern is like, make tampons free,
tea is hot and so are you, so grab a seat and let's review.
Hey everyone, it's Karina. So I was a big dum-dum this time around and didn't double check my Audacity settings. I thought my microphone was set up and ready to go, and it wasn't. So the entire time we recorded this, my headphones were picking up the audio. So I apologize for the drop in quality. Sorry about that.
Okay, so Rogue here has never listened to any of them. We're gonna show her some stuff. Oh wait, what?
Did you do it? Are we doing an intro?
I guess I thought no. I don't know.
Hi everybody. It's gonna be interesting how we do this video today. Trust the process.
You know who we are. We've been here before. But Rogue hasn't heard them. And so we're going to show Rogue Tramp Stamps I Want to Die.
Wait, no, that's not the song.
Then... Oh, no!
It's fitting. It's fitting. I'm fine, don't worry, but it's fitting.
I'd rather die. We're going to show Rogue I'd rather die. And then we'll come back and we'll see what she thought. Okay. Break. Okay. You've heard it. What did you think?
I'm confused. So...
About what?
Well, okay. So clearly very, like, Paramore aesthetic with specifically, especially specifically the room that they're singing in. I mean, we watched the music video, so has, like,
it's very
the
misery
words.
Business.
Yeah. Also, I'm getting kind of early 2000s impressions, like they're trying to, I don't know, I guess if they're in their late 20s, that's the kind of music that would influence them anyway. But so the chorus. What part? So it's very Tumblr, or like old Tumblr, like straight white.
Do hold those thoughts on Tumblr though, because that will come up again.
Okay, straight white guys. They're the devil. Blah.
Blah.
Very Tumblr, but like in a song. So what about? I don't understand. There wasn't enough narrative to the song for me to understand what it is specifically about straight white men that you don't want to hook up with anymore, because everything that they were singing about, I feel like, could be any man. Also, are you saying that you want to hook up with, like, gay men? Because that's not okay.
Hold that thought too, because it will also be something we delve into.
Yeah, I'm gonna just, sort of... So, just to give you guys sort of a rough sketch of how this video is going to go, Karina feels very strongly about them.
This is my first, like, fully researched video, and I'm really hyper-fixated on this.
She did a lot of beautiful work. It'll all come together, I'm sure, in a lovely way. I saw them... Because, like, we're both on TikTok a lot. I watch TikToks all the time, so I sort of saw them come along and I saw everybody reacting to them. And I was like, oh, that's weird. And then at the same time, it was like, oh, let's talk about this in a video. So, and I have my opinions that are for, not really any are for them, but I still will be playing Devil's Avocado as we go along. Just because I don't know if I feel that, like, I'm kind of torn. I don't know if the criticism they're getting is all deserved, or if they're right and it is misogyny. So we're going to talk about all that.
And
stuff.
I am an out-of-touch millennial who doesn't use TikTok, so I have no idea what's going on, and I have a lot of questions.
I'm the resident Gen Z, so this is...
Yeah, and it's weird. Okay, so, like, technically I am a millennial because I was born at the cutoff year, which I think is very interesting because my best friend is 9 months younger than me, so she is a Gen Zer.
I mean, all of these generations are, like, very loose. It's not like, oh, you were born the month after the cutoff. Sorry, you're.
I mean, I think we all have side parts, to my knowledge. So I look like a founding father with the middle part. I'm sorry, I can't do it. You've all seen that TikTok I made.
Yeah, it was beautiful. It was glorious. Okay, but so okay, we got your first impressions of the song, and we are going to take some time to really deep dive into, like, all that stuff. But I do want to just sort of
also, I do want to say, I want to clarify from what I said earlier. I understand there are more sexualities than, hopefully everybody knows by now, I understand there are more sexualities than just gay and straight. But my point is, one, you can't hook up with gay guys. That's not cool. Two,
you can't do that.
Two, not, I mean, you know, hashtag not all men, whatever. But most, that's like 2.5. That's like 2.5. 2 or 1.5. I don't understand. Like, other queer sexualities are gonna have this issue too. If you're hooking up with them in a hetero relationship, I don't understand.
Yeah, no, and that's definitely, there's a lot to unpack with that song, but at least you've seen the gist of it, and your mind's already
it's
brewing
broken.
this stuff, and that's where it's supposed to be.
Okay.
I'm gonna just say this at the beginning, and I'm probably gonna repeat it by the end. The one thing I will say, as somebody who has listened to all 3 of their songs, I listened to my understanding, Paige, Blue Hair, doesn't have their own solo career, but Marissa Mano and Caro Bay, that is lead singer, and magenta hair.
they're all color coordinated. I'll make
Yes.
it easy. When I talk about them, I'll just refer to them by their colors.
Yes.
But so I've listened to all their stuff, and so now I think that makes me a near Tramp Stan. I don't know what their fans are called.
Stan.
That should be it. I think
Their fans are called the 3 band members because they've been caught multiple times running their own Stan account.
Oh my gosh.
I
know
will
what,
get into this.
It's a whole
you know
Vatra
what?
situation.
Okay.
Card in the corner.
Yeah, I did actually, that makes a lot of sense, though, because I was looking at one of their Tumblrs today, and one of the things she retweeted was somebody being like, I would have to look it up to see what, but it was basically just saying, like, live long and listen to Tramp Stamps, basically. And I was like, interesting.
The band has 3 songs. Like, you can't get a Stan Twitter when you have 3 songs.
You can't live
all
long.
bad.
You can't listen to it while you're living long.
Live, laugh, love.
Yeah, it's weird. But, okay, but now listening to their 3 songs, now they could, I don't know what's there could be having a whole album, there could be 20 songs about something else, but all I know are these 3 songs, and, we're going to, I think the first thing, I'm just going to read this one quote from their thing, and then we can talk about the rest of it. But they say it's the kind of stuff women talk about all the time with their friends, but no one's ever put it to this kind of music.
Yeah, nobody's
before.
ever made a punk song about,
Yeah.
you know,
And,
Paramore, Evanescence. Nope, nobody.
Yeah. Remember
Yeah.
this quote, because
Flyleaf.
I'm going to bring it up later and really delve into it.
Yeah, and I guess my biggest issue with Tramp Stamps is that, like, okay, very Paramore-esque, and I was like, you know, I listened to, like, you know, Misery Business and all that stuff, because I was, like, in the mood to sort of cleanse after this, I'm sorry, and there's, like, nothing to, like, carve into, and not necessarily that you have to. Like, some songs are just fun. Like,
Yeah.
some Avril Lavigne songs are just fun, and they don't, like, it's not like this political deep dive into anything. You could just have a song like that. But if you're gonna advertise as, like, what women always talk about in private but never have the guts to say out loud, then I'm sorry, you need to say more than men's sex bad. And that is all they have to say.
Be a little more radical, you know?
Like, if I can pick up what you're putting down from, like, any Married with Children rerun, somehow I feel like you are missing out on some opportunity.
You know what?
Like,
Like,
not to gatekeep punk. Like, you don't need to go to, like, 8 feminist theory lectures before you can, like, be a punk band. But, like, say something a little bit more. You know? Like, bring a little bit more to the table than just boy sex very bad. I'm not good at it.
I mean,
That's
yeah.
bad.
they took a page out of Amy Schumer's book, I guess.
Yeah. Like, so I have lots to say about them, but something that I find
Right.
very funny is that they're very obviously trying to relate to, like, the Gen Z crowd of TikTok, where it's like, oh yeah, it's a bunch of alt girls, and they're like, like that. And, like, the most relatable thing that they could think of was, like, having bad sex.
And it's
Like,
Gen Z, where most of them are still teenagers.
Yeah, it's like, oh, don't you just hate when you hook up with a dude? No, I'm 15 and a virgin.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't.
So I think,
Yeah,
sorry, go ahead.
Oh yeah, so, like, we're gonna come back to this song and all their songs, but do you want to give us a quick little
History
thing
lesson?
on Tramp?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so I broke my notes into parts. So part 1, who are the Tramp Stamps? So it's 3 members. There's Marissa, Paige, and Caroline, also known as Girl Boss, Gatekeep, and Gaslight.
You almost said
As I
Gaskeep
love
again,
lovingly
didn't you?
Gaskeep. Yeah, I really had to be careful that time. I sent them both like a Snapchat of me trying to, like, explain this, and I said Gaskeep. I really do be tripping over my words. So these 3 ladies, who are color coordinated, Marissa is purple, Paige is blue, and Caroline is pink. On their TikTok, somebody was like, you guys are literally the bisexual flag, and then they made a TikTok about it. Keep this in mind. So, where did all of this begin? So on April 9th of 2021, the band posted a short video to their TikTok, which consisted of the 3 band members badly lip-syncing to their, at the time, upcoming song, I'd Rather Die. The 3 of us just listened to the song.
And
Garbage.
we'd rather die.
Yeah. I'd rather die than listen to that again. The 3 very quickly became an internet laughingstock. Some of my favorite comments from the original video. This slaps on mute. Bestie, this is not good. Girl boss. If this song gets famous, I blame capitalism. I thought this was Victoria Justice singing at first, and now I can't unhear it. So the rest of all of the comments are like this. Like, not a single good comment. They're all just like,
You know what's funny too? It's, you know, I feel like because they were just so aggressive on TikTok, because, like, I saw, and, like, you know, they ended up removing the sound and all that, but I saw some girls, like, some, like, queer girls just lip syncing to the song and like wearing like in different like cosplay outfits and stuff. I saw like people were kind of vibing with just the
audio
chorus. Yeah, just like the chorus. And I think like I watched I saw some of their stuff on TikTok, and I didn't know what was going on. And then I saw people like stitching with it, and then I was like, "Oh, okay, this is what's happening." Because I was watching, I was like, some of the put a finger down challenges like kind of go over my head anyway. But they did some that people have problems with, and we'll talk about those. But I watched their compilation. Like, these are the TikToks on their YouTube channel. Like, they were like, you know what?
They put together their own compilation. So, red flag number 1.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna, like, mention that. But, like, yeah, it's not, like, that's what fans are for. Like, fans will think you have enough to put on the table or something.
The fans will like find the fun stuff for you. If you have a big enough platform. We're pretty small, so I'm still working on the kind of friends out of context stuff. But that's because we're very small.
That's because we want to laugh
Tramp
at it.
Stamps. I'm gonna get into this in a second. They're signed, and they have like highly produced stuff. So you would think that they'd have fans, but they don't. And I'm going to continue speaking on that later.
Like, okay, so, yeah. So everyone's like, okay, they're an industry plant. And I don't know how I feel about that. Like, on one hand, it does feel disingenuous because clearly they do have backing because like people on TikTok are like they're literally signed to people, not great people. But I think
which we'll
that's
get into
coming
later.
But because at first I'm like if they're an industry plant, that's not like in their pop punk, that's not like the worst thing. I didn't know if like I felt like they needed like. I mean, to get so much hate on,
but from what it sounds like mostly the people saying that it was an industry plant were just like trolling mostly, not like necessarily that they didn't mean it. Although I think some people do throw that kind of thing around when they feel like the music isn't sincere. They say industry plant, which is fair, but it's more like that's such a light criticism, I feel like, to get so upset over.
Yeah. Like,
That's
out of all the things that are being said about the Tramp Stamps, like, industry plant is, like, the thing that they're the most upset about, and not upset about the fact that, the racism, the working with a known predator, the this and this and this, which, again, we'll get into.
I mean, they also got upset that people called them a queer punk band, though, so...
Yeah. When you guys are literally the pride flag, stop calling us a queer band! Like, which is it? Which is it?
Yeah, that is weird, because, like, this, like, I remember, like, Johnny Galecki was doing, like, an interview one time, and someone, like, whoever this was, I don't even know what show it was, but they were, like, asking him, like, does it bother you that people, like, think you're gay all the time? And he was like, why would I be bothered by something that's not offensive?
Yeah.
Like,
why would you be bothered by
exactly.
something that's not offensive?
They're
like, it's queer baiting. No, that's not what queer baiting is.
Like, if you think that.
Yeah, exactly.
And, like, I can't control it, but I'm also not mad about it. Like, it's just, like, if it's incorrect, it's just incorrect. But it really says something about you if you're like, don't call me gay.
Yeah.
And, like, on the one hand, like, but again, because I do want to kind of just give them the benefit of the doubt a little bit, I can see maybe, although I still don't really get it, but maybe their thing about not wanting to be a queer band is that they don't want to, like, they just want to be seen as a band, but they don't want to feel like they have, like, to be queer to be, like, accepted or something.
Well, then
you know what I
they
mean?
should have said that instead of just, like, yelling about not being a queer band.
Yeah, like, if the issue is, like, we don't want to take up space that isn't ours, like, we don't want to come across as a queer band, like, when there are there are lots of other really talented queer bands, we don't want to take up that space. I would, like, if that's the reason, okay, I can accept that. But it just comes across as, like, them being like, ew, gross, no, like, why would you think that, like, we're a gay band? That's disgusting.
No, that is weird. It does read that way. Because, like, Lil Nas X is gay and a performer, but I don't think, I mean, maybe some people do now, but I think of him as just a musician and, like, a pop star, or, you know, and not, like, so I guess I was thinking maybe it's, like, the same kind of thing, but if people were just, like, if he was just
but I do think, like, if,
you know, like,
people have started calling him, like, a queer icon or, like, whatever, and I think,
and that makes sense.
And I think that's, like, obviously he's not going to get offended by that, and that's different than being, like, you're only popular because you're queer. And I think the same thing for the Tramp Stamps. Nobody's saying you're only popular because, or whatever.
People are saying they're popular, period.
Yeah, exactly. But
you run your own stan Twitter.
If their concern is, like, we don't want to be popular just for that reason, because it doesn't seem like you're paying attention to our music, you're just paying attention to the queer part, that's somewhat valid, but also, like I said, they should have just said that instead of, like, oh, we're not a queer band, get it through your head. Our member said she was whatever. I'm like,
yeah, she
why
said
do you
she
have
was
to
gay, but, like, we're not a queer band.
Why do you have
like,
to explain that? It doesn't matter. Who cares?
Yeah. Also, if all of this is the case, you picked the wrong generation to market to. Gen Z will look at, like, a frog and they're like, oh my god, that's so gay, I love it.
Yeah, like, I took screenshots of their whole, like, conversation, so I don't know when we're gonna get into their response to all this stuff. But
well,
I do
I'm only
have
on page one of my notes, so we're gonna be here for a minute.
Okay. So, yeah.
So, we mentioned industry plant a couple of times, and, like, up until recently, I didn't really understand what that term is. Urban Dictionary defines it pretty well. So, an industry plant, according to Urban Dictionary, is an artist who has a major or indie label backing their movement, but presents themselves as a homegrown startup label to create a pseudo-organic following. So, it's this idea of, like, oh, like, I did this all by myself, but, like, in reality, you had, like, a team behind you, like, doing your marketing and your producing and all of that stuff, but you're putting on this front of, like, I did this alone. So it's more appealing to an audience. And, like, if you have, like, backing from somebody, like, pat yourself on the back, because that's not easy to do. But at least be genuine about that. And part of the Tramp Stamps saga, or the discourse, or whatever it is, stems from that a little bit. They have never come out and they've said, no, we're not industry plants, but, like, nobody's gonna come out and be like, yeah, we had a whole team behind this.
Well, they've also said that they haven't signed, right?
But some of them are signed to labels.
But then they're like, we signed with, like, artists without a label, and then...
Well, here's what people have, like, dug up that makes them think that they're an industry plant. So, number one is high production music videos despite just being signed. Claims to be indie, yet they're already on New Music Friday on Spotify. Most of the band members were singer-songwriters before, but never really gained much popularity, so people are thinking that this was, like, a ploy by their managers or whoever to be like, okay, so the three of you are all talented, not getting much traction in the music scene. Let's put you together. We'll give you this new look. Here you go. Go make us that shmoney.
Which, like, I do think could have, like, worked, because, like, you know, like, that's basically what happened with, like, One Direction.
Yeah, they're all talented on their own. Like, I've heard, like, Marissa's music, and, like, it's okay. It's good. Like, but she wasn't, like, getting the popularity that she might have wanted.
The one thing I will say as, like, again, just... And I mean, since they care more about being an industry plant than anything else, just to, you know, I was talking with Bob about it, and, like, he showed me this Hank 3 musician. And so Hank 3's grandpa and dad, also named Hank, were big country guys, and he has a country career. But then he also has a band, and they do, like, really heavy metal stuff. And so Hank 3 does, like, double shows, where, like, the first show is all country, or vice versa, and then the second show is, like, the metal stuff, and, like, it's like, okay, we're gonna take a little intermission. If you like that, you can leave or go, kind of thing, for, like, the people who want it. And, like, the country fans do not like the metal stuff, and the metal stuff people don't like the country stuff, but he still likes both, so he makes both. So it's possible you don't have to only like one style
type of music. Right.
Yeah. So I just wanted to put that out there.
So moving on from that, so those are, like, the official, like, reasons why people think they're an industry plant. These are my examples of why I think they're industry plants, just because I think that they're kind of funny, and I'm like, I'm seeing through this front that you're putting on. So why do I think that Tramp Stamps is an industry plant? Number one, if we take a look at their hair, all of their roots are the same length, so it looks like they all dyed their hair on the same day. And haven't touched it up since. So it's like their managers were like, okay, so on the 15th you're all going to go to your hair appointments, and that's it. Number two, all of their clothes are from Doll's Kill. Not only is the brand owner P racist, but no self-respecting punk would buy any of their clothes from Doll's Kill when there are perfectly good stinky thrift shops downtown.
Downstairs.
Downstairs. Yeah, just go downstairs. Go through your dad's old
from the
clothes. 80s. Yeah. Number three, they did a TikTok about recognizing classic punk and emo songs, and they did not recognize MCR or Evanescence.
What?
Like,
what did they recognize?
Two staples of, like, emo
I'm
music.
sorry.
So
can I watch this TikTok?
No, I will show it to you. It's in their compilation. They thought it was good enough to keep, even though that's what a lot of the hate's been coming from.
Okay, we'll watch this after.
Yeah. But the only thing I will say that, again, I noticed, and, like, just to be nice, it also felt like they couldn't hear the songs, because it kept, like... Okay, because they kind of kept, like, leaning in, like, and looking confused. Yeah, I don't know why. Like, that's, like, I don't know why they make the decisions that they make, and, like, I'm trying to side with you guys a little bit, but, like...
Here's my rebuttal to that. So, okay, so keep in mind, they did not recognize Evanescence. Wake Me Up, which is, like, meme status, how like...
I don't know
how you can't recognize that. So they did another TikTok that was like, oh, like, women we love, like, oh, our punk mommies, like, oh, we owe our lives to you. And it was like a slideshow compilation. Amy Lee is in that compilation. So either you just looked up, like, punk female singers and just picked, like, the top 5 and put them into your little compilation, or something else is going on. I don't know.
Again, like, the other thing I will say is, like, you know, we only know the 3 songs they've put out, but they're all about men, sex, bad. And I feel like one thing I've learned from Avril, who was the first person to show up in that TikTok, was that she has written songs about more than 2 topics.
Yeah.
So I feel like that is the minimum.
Boy.
You need to say at least 2+ things.
In order to be a punk icon, you gotta write about at least 2 topics.
You have one, you have a lot, you're halfway there.
Yeah.
We need one more topic at minimum, at bottom.
This brings me to my next.
This is why Taylor Swift has never made punk music.
Exactly. So, my next point. So, keeping in mind that they are... Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, but, speaking of Taylor, she does have, like, there's, like, failed relationships. There's also clapping back at haters. And I'm sure there might be a third thing. I'm just not that familiar with her music.
I'm sure
if she it's more than one. She's
That's
closer
true. Very true.
than Tramp Stamps are. That's all
So, my next point. So... Tramp Stamps is marketing themselves as like a punk riot girl pop punk band. Their most radical thought is making tampons free. Meanwhile, Gen Z has been talking about anarcho-communism for the last year and a half, and punks have been saying ACAB since the 80s. So,
yeah.
Which again, like, brings me to my point of, like, if you're going to enter the punk scene and make music, you don't need to read the Communist Manifesto every night before you go to bed. But, like, number one, know your stuff. Number two, stand for something.
It's very... Like,
it's very liberal feminism.
Yeah.
It's just... It's very, like I said, like, there's just nothing... And it's not like I need to be super, like, blown away like every new artist is so...
Oh my god, I never thought of this. Women have never made music like this before. I'm so glad I am being represented in the music scene. Thank you so much, Girl Boss, Gatekeep, and Gaslight.
Like, it's just so... It's just weird. And it's... I don't know. It's just also weird because, like, it's so, like... It's just not very good. And, like...
It's just real bad.
It's not good. It's stinky.
I will say, of the three of them, I think their song, Sex With Me, is the catchiest. But I still... Like, it's the same problem that I have with I'd Rather Die. And also, I feel like they were trying to be, like... It just... The way that they behave in, like, the video... it's a lyric
no chemistry.
video.
They're three girls have no chemistry together.
It's a lyric video, and they include flashing lights. And this is a personal thing for me, just because, like, I know people who are prone to seizures, and I'm like, you would think you could at least be safe for a lyric video.
Right?
2021, and you're not putting epilepsy warnings on your flashing lights videos.
They
Get with the program.
Video games
They did
have had
a warning, but I don't think it was necessary.
They're just not like other girls. They make music that's never been done before.
And at one point, like, I don't really, like, remember, like... Well, okay, so one of, like, the lyric... Like, all the lyrics in Sex With Me are about, like, how... You always complain about me, but you're not complaining when we're hooking up all over the place. Snaps to you, guy.
What a wonderful thing that nobody's ever sang about before.
Wow. Amazing.
And then at one point I remember, this was just very funny to me, because, like, for, like, the chorus of the song, like, the drummer grabs at her crotch in a really weird way, and I was like, how punk you're...
Wow.
It was just really, like, maybe we'll watch that one after this too, but it's like, it's very quick, and I didn't catch it until, like, rewatching it today, but I was like, did you just, like, slap your crotch 2 times really fast? What was that?
Oh my god. It's a whole yikes. What's my next point? I mentioned this briefly, but their stan Twitter is 100% ran by the band because more than once they have used we in reference to the band instead of using they. For example, we are located in Tennessee.
Oh my god.
When someone asks, where are you?
That is a Vatra level mistake.
Yeah, and then my last point. So of course their song is like, I'd rather die than hook up with a straight man. Paige has a whole husband.
Oh no! How does
Paige
he
is
feel
married
about that?
Do you think, like,
maybe
she comes home and she's like, what a great day, about singing about how I hate having sex with cishet white men. Hello, cishet husband.
Is it confirmed that he's hetero though? Maybe he's queer.
Well, He's a white guy, so
Okay.
he checks off one of those boxes.
Probably two.
Maybe-
Is he cisgendered?
Hey, I don't know. I don't want to assume anyone's gender, but like, I'm looking at you, and you're a white dude.
You are a white dude. That's
And your
one
wife
box.
sings about how much she hates
That's
you.
that's strike one.
I maybe it's okay because he has bi-wife energy.
He has bi-wife energy.
I love that so much. I love bi-wife energy.
Well, to be honest, I'm a hetero guy, but I really try to be a good ally. See, that song is not even punk, but it still says so much more than anything the Tramp Stamps have produced.
I love bi-wife energy.
It's so nice. Oh, man. Oh, what's my next thing? Oh, we're coming into part 2, dunking on the band.
Wait, hold on. Were we not supposed to be doing that before?
This is just like opening the floor to dunking on the band.
Officially.
Yeah,
Officially.
more. Yeah, we've been doing that the whole time, but like, here's some more. So, it has been said to death, but God does their music suck. They claim to make music that's never been done before. I would love to deep dive into the history of punk and talk about this for hours, but it's not super important right now. However, I will recommend Death because they accidentally pioneered the entire genre and black punk bands really get overlooked in the scene. They're also really funky fresh, so please listen to them. Politicians in My Eyes has like been on repeat in my Spotify for days. It's fantastic. That being said, I mentioned Riot Grrrl a little while ago, so I want to talk about what that is. So, the Riot Grrrl movement started back in the 90s as a response to the male-dominated punk scene. This happened at the birth of third-wave feminism, and at that time, feminism was starting to become more intersectional. It was looking more at issues of how race and gender intersect and how multiple identities can affect, like, your positionality in the world. Sorry to use big leftist words, but that's the only way I can explain it right now. Stay tuned for the KOF educational moments on introductions to socialism. But so third wave feminism is hot on the scene. Punk music is hot on the scene, but these two aren't really meeting. So Riot Grrrl, which I have to hand it to my girls Bikini Kill and Kathleen Hanna for really pioneering that movement, because they were like, hey, we're seeing this gap. Let's put this grassroots mobilization of third wave feminism into music, and let's make it very angry because we're very angry. And then the music slapped. So I'm gonna go over very quickly two of my favorite Riot Grrrl bands. Bikini Kill is one of them, and Pussy Riot is my second favorite.
Yeah.
Pussy Riot's great. These ladies went to prison for 2 years in Russia. They put some respect on their name. So, this reads more of a slam poem, because it is, but it's on one of their albums. This is called I Busted in Your Chevy Window. I busted in your Chevy window because you made me mad. I could not bust your weapon because it's your mouth. I could not bust your weapon because it's a part of your goddamn body. But I can bust materials, yes. I can bust a window, yes. I can bust a plate of glass that protects you so all the other girls can throw stones. I can bust your Chevy window because you made me mad. Snaps for Kathleen Hanna. Good for you, baby. I love you. Mwah. Fun fact, they're going on tour in 2022, so hopefully, if everybody can stay inside and wear your masks, I can go see them, because I missed that chance when it was the 90s, because I was born in 98.
Oh no, you missed it.
I missed it, so now is my chance. Everybody please stay inside and wear a mask. Let's see, what's my next song? Let's see, what's a good one? I just went through like a whole bunch of discographies,
Right.
and finding some good lyrics.
Oh, can I want to point out about the lyrics that you read. I want to point out how it's not just like, it kind of reminded me of the, oh God, I don't know who sings it, the song about vandalizing someone's sports car before he cheats.
Oh. Well, I dug
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who sings that?
Whoever sings that.
I don't.
We'll put it
Yeah.
on screen. This is who sings it. good song. It's not punk, it's country, but it slaps.
But that's like, okay, you're vandalizing his car because he cheated on you, which is whatever, like cathartic, I guess. But
I'm not gonna advocate for damaging personal property.
But the lyrics that you just read, it was like there were layers to it. You know, you peel back the layer. Very poetic. You know, I'm going to damage your property because I can't damage your actual weapon because it's a part of your body, which also, like...
Layers.
Yeah. Maybe don't damage property either, but, like, if you can't hold yourself back, the choice of, like, hurting someone, causing physical harm. So that's, yeah, I enjoyed that.
And a lot of Bikini Kill songs are like that. A lot of it is, like... It is talking about, like, violence against women and women's resistance. And, again, that was something that wasn't seen in punk music at the time. And that's why Bikini Kill's a really important band.
Ooh, since they like to talk about straight white men, do the white boy next.
Oh, okay. We might have to bleep some of this because it's got a bad word. White boy, don't laugh, don't cry, just die. I'm so sorry if I'm alienating some of you. Your whole culture alienates me. I cannot scream from pain down here on my knees. So sorry that I think. Snaps for Kathleen Hanna.
Yeah, that's oof.
And there's also like, intense. I remember the first time I listened to this. I found Bikini Kill through one of my friends. Shout out to Bambi, excellent friend. And I listened to the song on repeat to the point where I memorized, like, the monologue at the beginning. And the monologue is, I don't know if it was scripted, it feels genuine, but it's somebody in the band interviewing a dude, and they're talking about rape culture. And the guy was basically saying, like, oh, well, you know, like the girls are asking for it because of, like, the way they dress and, like, all that stuff. So that's how the song starts. And then it goes into this, like, just rip on, like, toxic masculinity and rape culture and all of this stuff. And then you look at Tramp Stamps.
Oh my gosh.
What did they say in their YouTube bio? With a lyrical style that's equal parts social commentary, soul-blaring confession, and brilliantly profound storytelling, let's take a look at some of their lyrics. I'd rather die than hook up with another straight white guy. Here's another one of their songs, 1-800-Miss Your Guts. Just a Tumblr girl and a skater boy taking on the world, stuck in Illinois. Sex with me. We've been hanging out for a while now, and when I say hanging out, I mean honking around. It doesn't say honking. And not only in bed, but on every couch in your best friend's house.
Okay,
say something. Say something, please.
So when they say soul, what part of that was soul blaring?
None of it. It's so like, surface level.
I am curious about, like, why these three were our first introduction, because, like, watch this fourth song come out and we're just like, oh no, I was all wrong
on everything.
Like, watch them drop a song that's, like, a deep critique on, like, police states and race relations in America, and how, like, the black woman is the most disrespected person in America. Why give us this garbage first?
But also...
Why give us this garbage first?
Also, these are the things that nobody has dared to put in a song before.
Nobody's... Like, Bikini Kill was writing songs about how bad it is to be assaulted.
Before they were even born.
Yeah. Okay, while we're talking about their lyrics, I have, like, a few mini rants I'd just like to get out of the way. So, there's a lot of toxic masculinity, and it exists, and it's bad for everyone. I don't think that shaming men is the way to resolve it. Also, one thing, these three songs talk about the many different ways that men fail to perform in the bedroom. However, what I think would be interesting to talk about is, like, communication with your partner. Like, I don't like when you just like finish first and then leave.
Yeah.
That makes me feel bad. Or I would like it if we did this. Or I don't like when we do that. You know, there's communication. And that would be something nice instead of just being like, men suck in bed. And it's just, it's really
bad.
I don't like it because, like, if it became, and it's not just Tramp Stamps because it's not original or unique to them, but I don't like it in, like, TV or shows when they do it because if it became, like, the norm to just joke about, like, oh, well, women just lie there like a dead fish and the men has to do all the work, that would be disgusting and horrifying, and no one would be cool with that. But it is okay to say all this stuff that probably gives, like, you know, and if you grow up as, like, a male and I can imagine you would just really easily have a lot of performance anxiety around sex because all you hear about is how women are so unsatisfied all the time and they'll never really like it and they fake their orgasm and all this stuff, and it's just like that's what you felt needed to come to the table that's never been done before, is how these guys are just horrible lovers.
Like, in a world where 97%, this is the issue you talk about. Like, ma'am, Miss Girl, what is this?
Like, yeah,
if you want to critique patriarchy, I love doing that. I do it all the time. But, like, have more to say. Because if we're just saying, like, men are so bad at doing the sex, that helps nobody.
Yeah, and, like, I mean, this is just, like, maybe a hot take. I don't think it is. But I just feel like America is so, like, sexually repressed, and I really feel like there should be more mainstream things that are just talking about, like, communication and how, like, it's okay to have questions about sex.
Well, you know why? It's because a lot of the nation was based on religion, Christianity, so it's not until recently when our country is starting to I mean, it's still the major religion, but starting to get more away from that in our generations. So,
yeah.
And
separation of church and state.
And also, I mean, just even religious people becoming more progressive in those kind of terms. So, like, still having their religion, but also allowing room for sex and understanding that people are going to do it outside of religion.
Yeah.
Religious practices. So, I think I agree with you, and I'm the Tramp Stamps, by doing this, are sending us back instead of moving us forward in terms of,
again, it's
this kind of revolution.
It's very white liberal feminism, and that is the worst type of feminism because it's so performative and it's so narrow. It's so, like, what are issues that affect me personally and nobody else? And that's the only right type. Like, I cannot stand that feminism. If your feminism is not intersectional, if your feminism is not queer friendly, if your feminism doesn't care about BIPOC women, if it's not any of these things and more, there's no point of being a feminist. If your concern is, like, make tampons free, get out.
And then it's real, like I said before, and like we've been saying, it's just so surface level, and I could get the same thing from, like,
a conversation with my mom.
Or, like,
and I love my mom.
If you just walk onto a college campus.
Yeah.
No, you walk onto a college campus, they're gonna be like, hey, do you want to join our school's communist club? Because my school had one of those.
I mean, college campuses have everything, but, like, if you, like, I don't know, I think it's, like, freshmen at college, and it's just, like,
freshman introduction to feminist theory, and it's day one, and it's like, let's spitball ideas of feminist issues.
And I would just like to, read this, like, the full verse of their "And I'd Rather Die" when they get to the section
second
part.
verse.
I don't know how you think we're gonna honk when you can't get it up. I'm sick of hearing it's the alcohol, and when you're finally in the mood, it lasts like 1 or 2 seconds, and then you're done and want a spoon.
Yeah, see, so that's really that's really dangerous.
That's really rapey.
It's really dangerous because like a lot of men have trouble with ED and stuff, and then it just puts shame on them instead of allowing them to seek help for it. If that's even something they want help for. Maybe they don't care, you know?
Yeah,
like you can't get it up. Like, oh, it's your fault. He's probably not into this. You're pressuring him into a situation where he is not having a fun time. That's consent through coercion, and that's really, really bad.
That is not okay.
Yeah, because like that's, and even if these are two different thoughts, but it doesn't seem like it because it's like when you're finally in the mood, it's like, well, it's like, then why are you fighting so hard for it if you don't even like it? So like maybe if you left him alone or something. And this is just like an example I remembered of how like communication works from this episode of Girlfriends, and I don't know how all of it would stand the test of time. I have not rewatched it recently, but Joan's character, played by Tracy Ellis Ross, was dating a man, and he confided in her that he is a recovering sex addict. And so she was like, okay, like, well, he was like, we just want you to take it slow, kind of thing, until I'm ready. And she was like, okay, that's totally fine. Like, I like you. It's more than that. Like, we could take our time with this. Then he was ready, and she was nervous. She was like, oh my gosh, am I gonna, he's gonna compare me to, like, all his experience. And they did it, and then she was like, you know, it really, like, kind of wasn't it for me. It was, like, really fast and stuff. So then, like, she was, like, worried about that and, like, nervous about it. But then she ended up having a sit-down conversation with him, and she was saying, like, so when we did it, like, it kind of, like, it wasn't enjoyable for me for these reasons. And he explained, like, oh, you know, like, honestly, like, it got, like, because it had become a vice for him and so much quantity, he sort of, like, lost focus on, like, his other part, like, taking his other partner into consideration. And so then she was like, okay, so, like, I understand, that makes sense. And so, like, I'll help you. And it became, like, they got closer because she was able to, like, show him, like, not to be cheesy, but, like, how to make love instead of just going to Bone Town. But anyway, like, and I just thought that, and I still remember that episode, even though realistically I was probably too young to be watching that at the time, really.
It set the standard.
But, you know, I mean, like, that wouldn't be a catchy enough song, I guess. So. Okay, let's continue.
Yes. Okay, so going back to their music. Lyrically garbage. Says nothing revolutionary. Barely says anything, period. Auto-tuned to the moon and back.
For no reason, by the way.
Yeah, no reason for it to be auto-tuned, because Marissa can sing, so I don't know why it's doing this. Anyways, I guess we could argue that this is pop punk, but punk it is not. And punk is a very, like, do-it-yourself, no rules type of genre, but if you showed this to, like, any, like, old punk, I'm sure that they would have a good giggle. Regardless of the genre, though, it's pee-bad. But all of this I can overlook. So at best they're an out-of-touch band trying to piggyback on the alt Gen Z TikTok scene. At worst they're an industry plant. But all of this is peanuts compared to part 3. Yikes.
Oh no.
Oh no.
So they went from being a little cringe to being pretty yikes.
Yeah.
Out of the frying pan.
Yeah. Into the fire. So marketing themselves to Gen Z was definitely their biggest mistake, because 17 to 21-year-olds on the internet are ruthless. If you had a pimple on your chin in 2012, they would find out. All of this is to say that research was done, and folks found some really nasty stuff about these gals. Drum roll, please. Actually, no, let's play a fun game. They went through some old tweets. What do you think they found?
Oh, are we checking off the, like, reasons that they were canceled? Or reasons that people get canceled?
Let's take a guess. What do you think was tweeted? Yeah,
something racist.
You're right. Marissa tweeted the N-word a couple of times.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. So, I don't think we need to talk about why that's a yikes.
Yeah.
This isn't the last time that the band has been guilty of racism, though. For one, people were saying, and like Rogue, you mentioned this a little bit earlier, that they were kind of fetishizing queer and like maybe POC men through their song. And they were like, yeah, so that's a yikes. And, oh, okay. So I do need to explain the context behind this. So apparently, I haven't found any proof for this, but apparently they took the name from another band.
Oh.
So that's something. And on Tumblr, they had their Tumblr for 5 hours because people on the site bullied them off.
Dang!
Which, like,
Good for
round
them.
of applause, Tumblr.
Yeah.
Making me proud. Making me proud. So...
Yeah, Tumblr's a scary place.
Tumblr... I grew up there, and it's... look at me now.
Yeah, no, you're Exhibit A.
I'm Exhibit A. You know, maybe we'll do a deep dive into the 2014 to 2017 Tumblr era, because I have several friends and I who were the therapist friends, and I'll unpack what that meant later. Therapist friend meant staying up until 5 a.m. on school nights, trying to get your friend to not commit die. Anyways, so they're on Tumblr, and people are like, hey, it's kind of messed up that you, like, stole this band name from somebody. And Tramp Stamps replied, sorry, we're too busy not paying attention to cis white men. And then somebody said, Miss Ma'am, all of you are cis and white. And then the band replies, Marissa is literally Italian.
Oh my gosh.
So, let's ignore the fact that they are trying to negate their white privilege by saying that she's Italian. I can't believe I need to say this in the year 2021. If you are ethnically Italian, this is coming from somebody who is Italian, and you have the same skin tone as me and Marissa, you are white. I don't care if you're also Sicilian, you are white. I'm sorry.
Also, that would be like saying, like, even if they said that and somebody was, like, maybe light-skinned or something, and they were like, oh, Marissa's black or whatever, that's so, like, that doesn't mean you're black.
Yeah.
You can't.
Like, ma'am. So,
yeah.
So that was fun.
That's a weird defense.
She's literally Italian. Shut up.
Yeah, you know,
you're making us look bad.
Yeah, while we're on that, I would just, because, like, one of the other things, too, you know, we mentioned briefly how they had a problem with being looked at as a queer punk band or whatever, and they were like, we're not a queer band, Marissa is gay.
And Italian.
And Italian. And, like, I don't know how to put this in a different way, but you can be part of a community and still do things that are harmful to that community.
Yeah, when did I talk about lateral violence? I think it might have been the Shane Dawson episode, Card in the Corner, to one of them. Can't remember which video it was, but, like...
I'll put them both.
Yeah, so just a refresher. Lateral violence is when you're dealing with, like, let's use racism. When you're dealing with internalized racism, and that then becomes externalized racism, because you hate yourself, and now you hate anybody else who looks like you. That's lateral violence.
Yeah, and, like, you know, other examples include, like, Blair White. It's harmful to her community. I'm not saying that Tramp Stamps is as bad as them. I'm just saying it is possible to be harmful.
Exactly.
To your
just
community.
You can still cause harm if you're part of an oppressed group. You can still cause harm to others.
Just because you're in that community or in that group doesn't mean that you have a free pass to do or say whatever you want. It doesn't mean that
do you hear that, Nikita Dragon? Are you paying attention?
I automatically can't be harmful because I'm also part of this group. That's not a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
What's next? The next biggest issue I have is the fact that they are associated with Dr. Luke and his label. Who remembers who Dr. Luke is?
I don't.
He a bad man.
Yeah, Dr. Luke was the music producer who emotionally and sexually abused Kesha for a number of years. They went to court. He was found not guilty, but for what it's worth, Kesha, I believe you.
What the heck? Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
and
was
really,
it was
really
a whole-
bad guy. And they're like, we're radical feminists and we strive to take down the patriarchy through our music, so why are you signed to a known predator's music label?
Like, even, okay,
It's-
so even if they use the excuse, well, he was found not guilty, you would think that feminists would believe the victim,
Yeah.
especially
Like,
someone who's
Miss-
in your industry.
Miss Girl, how did you... I don't get it. Why? I don't understand.
Yeah.
Make it make sense.
It's... Yeah, the whole... And, like... I don't... It's really... It's bad vibes to be... Like, I don't know, like, the only two brands that I know them to be associated with are, like, problematic. So you mentioned they get their clothes from Dolls Kill, which is racist, and Dr. Luke, and that's bad for those reasons. And it's like, why not, like, next, they're gonna be like, I don't know, selling, they're gonna
Here's
get
our
like an
collab song
edgy
with PETA.
bird sponsorship.
We're donating
Yeah,
all
that's-
of our
yeah.
stream money to Autism Speaks.
Oh, no.
Oh my god, like, I don't know why they're, like, why are they only synonymous with, like, bad brands?
just don't
What is
get it.
this?
I don't get it.
And, like, I mean, yeah, like, I think it's also weird, too, like, if we could just look through their, response to the hate.
Oh, their Twitter notes app apology?
Yeah. Yeah, so,
Red flag number 2.
okay, so they're upset, and, like, if people were saying, like, you know, I don't want to be taken out of context ever. So if I felt the misinformation about me was going mad, I'd be upset. So they start off strong.
Hey, honkers.
Tramp Stamps here. Okay, so they talk about, like, their biggest issues are, like, we are not industry plants, and they go on this, like, long right, and they're like, we wrote these songs 100% between the band, we chose not to sign with a major label, and, like, that stuff's been debunked, and then they're like, I think it's flattering, but, like, okay.
They spend, like, 2
Cool.
lines talking about, like, the racism.
Yeah.
And then they go on
like,
to, like, let's talk about that ageism. You guys are bullying us because we're 29. Like, you said the N-word.
See, that's another thing that's like, if people, they're not bullying you, they're like trolling, like
They're goofing on you.
Understand the internet better.
That's
Yeah,
it. They're
like-
marketing to Gen Z, who are like the most brutal generation on the internet, who will make fun of you because you tied your shoes wrong. And they're like, let's market to them. I'm sure they're gonna love our girl boss punk music. And then they don't. They're like, hee hee, this is girl boss punk music. Oh my god, I don't understand why you don't like our girl boss punk music.
Yeah, like, I gotta say, okay, so if people are coming at me and they're like, I think you're a phony, I think you're racist, and you're old, I'm going to take issue with, like, okay, look, fine, whatever, but I am not racist, and here's why.
I may
That is the
excuse
old,
racism, but I draw the line at ageism.
like, what? Like, pick your battles. And, like, again, and they don't even address the whole Dr. Luke thing. Like, okay, if you're not signed with him, disavow.
Yeah.
Disavow.
We are not associated with Dr. Luke and will never be associated with Dr. Luke because he is a predator.
Or, like, whatever. Allegedly. I guess. I don't know. I don't know what the laws
Allegedly.
are.
He was acquitted, blah, blah, blah. I believe Kesha. I love you, Kesha. Mwah.
Well, Prey was really good.
Oh my god, so good.
Then, okay. So, like, it's so mind-boggling to me that that's where they like they harp on.
That's the hill they're gonna die on, being bullied, quote unquote. Somebody said that they give off Gabby Hanna vibes.
Oh my gosh.
Honestly, that's like the only thing that I haven't, because they don't have like a big enough presence, is that they haven't like.
Oh my god, girl boss, gatekeep, gaslight.
Gabby. She's the secret fourth member.
Oh my god, she was behind this the whole time.
Okay, like, we're being silly, but like, if they did get together,
oh my god, can you imagine how bad
I think
it would sound?
Oh, TikTok would explode.
TikTok would break. It would break. Oh my god.
All of our collective brains would implode. Like, it would be a whole thing.
Maybe that's gonna be their next move.
Guys, quick, we have to stop talking about it. We're gonna give them ideas.
Oh yeah, that is a danger. We're putting it out to the universe. Don't tell
I do not welcome this negative energy into my life or the life of my loved one.
We're small enough that it's okay for us to say this, but don't tell
We're only
them.
at 200 subs. It's fine.
Do you think?
Yeah, we're safe.
Do you think we could play the algorithm by putting Gabby Hanna and Tramp Stamps in our title? Gabby Hanna joins Tramp Stamps.
Oh, what color is she gonna dye her hair then?
Green.
Green, yellow,
orange.
Orange. I was glad.
Orange. Glad she's not in the band. I sure am. She blew the mic
Oh my
out.
gosh. Yeah, the only thing that they are not Gabby Hanna's status yet, because to my understanding they have not used, well, they're not big enough to, but they haven't used their platform to unleash,
to bully other people.
Their fans
they haven't publicly defended Dr. Luke yet, a known predator, unlike Gabby Hanna did for a number of months.
Oh no, what?
Do you remember when she did that? She was like, I'm standing behind Curtis Lepore, who admitted to sexually assaulting Jesse Smiles, but I'm going to stand behind him because I care about our friendship and my popularity.
Yeah,
if you support Gabby Hanna in 2021, you look like a clown. I'm sorry.
One thing, just so to make sure that when people see this and get upset, they know that we did cover our bases. She did say that she never defended him and, like, she never collabed with him. But, like, but she did make these tweets, and, like, people were, like, saying that it was about it, but she basically tweeted like, oh my gosh, I'm getting like the popcorn ready, and they're like, this is
Ma'am, your friend was assaulted.
Like, what is happening here with that? And like, it's weird, but since we're on, like, while we're talking about her, I did have feelings about this. Okay, so like,
stay tuned for that deep dish.
Yeah. So she wrote her poetry book.
Yes.
And Rachel Oates, who I like Rachel Oates. She's like her vibe is so like lo-fi.
Yeah.
Honestly. Like it's like very nice, calm, like we're just gonna read together and talk about this book. Like somehow she made Shane Dawson's dumpster fire stories sound
okay,
palatable. Like I didn't want to die.
She found a way, and she did it, and I thank her for that. She's braver than any Marine.
So okay. Then I'll allow it. But so then she reviewed Gabby Hanna's first book, and she was like, okay, some of these are good. I don't like these, and like it's like there's no layers and stuff, but at the same time it's just I'm being subjective.
The poems that are literally like, some of these poems I wrote because I had the muse to, others because I had a deadline and I needed to submit pages.
And they're not even poems.
It's like
And
it's trying to be milk and honey, but it's more like sour cream and toothpaste.
Yeah. And then she sent Rachel Oates her second book, like 3 years later. It was like, okay, like, just here's a copy of my second book. And then Rachel was like, okay, so she sent it to
She
me,
wants me
so
to
it'll
review
probably maybe she'll listen. Then like almost half a year passes, so Gabby Hanna was just lying in wait till people forgot, I guess. I don't know, because like it still shows up in recommended, so it's not like I don't know what was going on. But then she like basically just kept tagging her. Rachel Oates' Instagram got deleted because a bunch of Gabby stans kept flagging it.
5 of them.
And like
I mean, she has like 5 million followers, so.
Like, it's so...
I have
I
70
just don't
alternative accounts.
It's definitely, like, I don't know, just, like, as far as toxic behavior goes, that's just not okay to do. And, like, she says that, like, everyone who criticizes her is bullies, but, like, okay,
These are
unfortunately,
high
like,
school bullies.
stop being a problematic person. Like, stop finding yourself. Like, okay, you did the whole Kenza Cosmetics deal, and you were like, okay, this is old tea, but I had problems with it then. If you look on my Instagram, I did a little story on it like years ago, but I never forgot it. Okay, so yeah, I've been waiting.
This has been boiling under the surface for years.
Yeah, for years. Okay, so she took this deal with Kenza Cosmetics. It turns out they're one of those like fake drop shipping scam places where like you could get the same brushes from AliExpress for like $2, and it was like, okay, it's free, just pay shipping.
Yeah.
And okay, so then people were like, hey, like we haven't gotten it. It's been this long, and then her first reaction was like, okay, like manage your expectations. Manage your expectations. You said they were worth $80.
You promoted
lady.
the brand.
What the heck?
Wasn't her?
And then she's like, then later.
Wasn't her second thing like, well, I got scammed too?
Well,
Yeah.
you didn't. We see you using the product. You got the
like,
product.
And she's like, they're not that great. And I'm like, so do you not remember what you said? Because, and like, I remembered her, I never think, and I don't really feel like she really addressed this, but the issue people had, like, okay, if it was like, hey, you know, there's like these cute brushes, they're offering them basically like for free, you just pay shipping, and they're like, whatever. But the fact that her and Tana, but Tana doesn't apologize for anything like this, and she doesn't care, and like, go shameless, I guess. But, like, I guess that's the thing. Don't apologize. Be shameless or make a good apology. Those are your options.
Those are your only options.
There's no in between. You will, yeah. You will.
You can't flip-flop between the two.
Yeah, because if you need to commit to both ends, because otherwise, like, that's when you end up in this territory that Gabby always finds herself in. So she didn't address the fact. The issue that people had was that she was like, these are worth $80. These are luxury brushes. They're worth $80, but right now, 24 hours only, even though it was for like ever.
Yeah.
Then you can have these for really cheap. And then people were mad about that, and she was just like, manage your expectations. You raised them up for me.
This is
like, I didn't buy them
because of you, not because of
like,
the manufacturer.
I did manage my expectations.
Yeah.
You exacerbated them,
This is
lady.
your fault, Gabby.
So, that's old tea, and like, I really feel like some of the stuff she's been doing lately is like, honestly much worse. So if we do like a full thing on that, we can talk about that some more. I don't know.
Somebody said Gabby Hanna is behaving a lot like Onision, and
oh my god.
I mean, yeah. I'll leave it there.
I mean, she's behaving a lot like bullies in high school, like the mean girls in high school that they get called out for something that they're doing, and then they say, no, you're doing that to me, and I'm the victim. And it's like, what the heck? Like, oh my gosh. Watching her videos about complaining about people bullying her. I'm like,
Yeah.
I feel like I'm in high
I'm
school again.
neurodivergent. I have ADHD. You can't bully me. Yes, we can. Throwback to that one cosplayer who, like, sexually harassed and assaulted a bunch of people, and then she was like, well, I have ADHD. It's like, no, ma'am.
No.
That's not an excuse. That's not an excuse. Anyways, back to Tramp Stamps. This has been...
Right, yeah.
This has been, like, another, like, extra video. I'm almost done.
Bonus content.
Yeah. This is for the Patreon we don't have.
Okay, they knew what they were getting into at the intro.
Yeah.
We started with chaotic energy.
You saw the pizza in the thumbnail.
When we're ranting about things that upset us, it'll only remind us of other things that also upset us.
Bob's not here to reel us in.
It's like if you give a mouse a
Stay
cookie.
on track.
Yeah, that only works half the time. Because we reel him in with our chaos energy. We all remember Silver's return.
Oh gosh.
Oh,
Oh
gosh.
god. Anyways, so Tramp Stamps. I want down to the last of my notes. So, personally, I take a lot of offense to hijacking the Riot Girl movement for your own personal gain. The subculture of punk means a lot to myself and a lot of other women, and I frankly find it insulting that they're claiming to create music that's never been done before, when it has been done time and time and time again, so much better, and it completely, like, invalidates and erases the efforts of musicians who have paved the way for women in punk. Riot Girl is all about anti-capitalist, anti-heterosexism, anti-masculinist, intersectional feminism. It's about giving voices back to women who have been excluded and alienated from punk, and it was done through cultural production. To quote one of my profs, in order to disrupt patriarchy, you have to make people uncomfortable. Nothing about Tramp Stamps makes people uncomfortable. That's why I am so pissed off about them.
Oh, I'm so glad I came to your TED Talk.
Thank you. Part 4, recommendation. If you want to listen to some good female-fronted bands / all-girl / queer-friendly bands, here's my recommendations. Maybe we'll put them up on screen because it's kind of a big list. Off the top of my dome, Bikini Kill, Eat Your Heart Out, Tonight Alive, Meet Me at the Altar, Dream Wife, Camp Coop, Big Joanne, I can't read, sorry, Potty Mouth, Thick, Not Your Girlfriends, Paramore, Sletter Kinney, I can't read, Girl Friday, Pussy Riot, 7 Year B-Word. These are my bands. You can find a bunch of good playlists of Riot Girl music on Spotify, on, like, anything. Not sponsored. We're very small. But it's...
You can find us on Spotify now, though.
Yeah! Kind of Friends on Spotify. What a nice segue into saying that. You can take us on the go. You can put our chaos in your pocket and take it for a night out on the town. Take us to the grocery store while you buy your soup.
Yay!
Yay!
Yeah, you can find it in our link tree in the bio.
Yeah.
Okay, well, you know, honestly, I'm glad we did this because I feel this was very cathartic. I feel lighter.
I feel
Don't
more
you just
informed.
feel so much lighter after a good deep dish pizza.
Yeah. Oh gosh, ready for sweet dreams.
Yeah.
But in prep for this video, I did have so many dreams about Tramp Stamps. So,
Yes.
like,
And now we can banish them from our thoughts. I cast
Forever.
them out of my space.
I still have to edit this, so I have a little bit more
no.
time with them. But then I'll be free.
We're gonna upload the video and not watch it.
So, thank you, Karina. You worked so hard for this, and I hope it came out how you liked.
Came out how I liked and then some.
Then, Rogue, thank you for listening to her rants on Tramp Stamps and my
And
rants
Gabby
on
Hannah.
Gabby Hannah.
I feel so much more informed now.
That's good. And hopefully you guys feel informed too. Thank you so much for listening. And remember to comment, like, and subscribe because we all need friends.
Bye.
Bye.